Hello and welcome to the businesslab.tv. We're here in the Business Ladder secret bunker, and let's see what's going under the microscope today. We've got 5 essential qualities for business success. Ability. Well, you might say that's a bit obvious, and in a way it is, but not really. What does it mean? It's the fundamental element of being good at what you do, and ideally doing it outstandingly well. But it's not so simple. You need to know what's required, what particular skills and knowledge, and work on obtaining them to the required degree and hopefully beyond. This can be a matter of formal study, self-study, being proficient at what they call learning on the job, acquiring knowledge that way, doing your own research and making your own way in an intelligent manner. However it happens, in a fast-moving world, it's crucial to always be improving and developing what you can do, both in your own field and even in other ones that can help you. The other side of ability is knowing what you can't do, because that feeds into both the art of delegating and the skill of procuring the necessary knowledge or skills elsewhere to fill that gap and achieve your objectives in that way. You can't do or know everything yourself, but as Socrates didn't say, the wise man knows that he needs some external help. So it's a mix of doing things well, being able to learn and develop, and also knowing where to turn for maximum effectiveness. Work. We're constantly being told by politicians, parents, bosses, you name it, that we all need to work harder. Well, they would say that, wouldn't they? Of course they do. Sometimes in the most patronizing manner, though. So what does it entail? Obviously it means what we first think. Being diligent, devoting yourself, putting in significant effort. Doing what's expected of you thoroughly and attentively is clearly a must, and indeed usually more than that, including going well beyond the remit of what's expected, such as putting in longer hours to accomplish something or solve a particular problem. Hence that old cliche of giving 110%. In fact, you could say that these days in a hyper-competitive global workplace, giving 100% is nowhere near enough. Sorry, arithmetic. So intensity and industriousness are givens, but there is more. I think of it as unleashing your focus and efficiency on whatever you do, or in another common phrase, working smart. Prioritizing tasks well, making the most of your time, taking every available opportunity, never engaging in activity just for the sake of it, but rather concentrating on your objectives and results, or to use a concept I apply a lot, cutting the crap, to eliminate the superfluous, the irrelevant, the unimportant distractions that make it easy to get lost and waste valuable time wading through them. I remember once an important meeting, oh so important, when I worked in the city. It lasted an eye-watering 12 hours or so, and nothing much actually got decided. But to be fair, a lot of hot air got spouted by all sides to massage their egos. Likewise, we've probably all known people who seem to work really hard for long hours, yet when you look at it, they have confusingly little result to show for it in the end compared to how much they've actually put in. Sure, there may be a genuine reason, and that's fair enough, but you have to be honest about it. Why does this sort of thing happen? Whether conscious or subconscious, it's often a misguided case of thinking you're working hard instead of working smart. Unfortunately, there has also been a culture of FaceTime and long hours in many industries, so there may be an element of that too. But when you think about it, your sanity, your effectiveness in your job, in achieving results, are important. Otherwise, you end up metaphorically banging your head against the wall and calling it virtue, when in most cases it's just causing you a nasty headache, which benefits no one. One of our basketball coaches at school once told me, yes, talent matters, but what I really want to see is people playing hard and playing smart. Substitute work for play, and that's a really good piece of advice for the workplace. Ideas. Creativity is the capacity to generate ideas that have merit and value. It develops in different ways. Be wary of those who try and fool you into thinking it's all about being born with it. You can bet they're trying to get you to impose false limitations on yourself, but I'm not saying anything. In addition to a knack for being creative, ideas come from being able to listen, to process, analyze, integrate information or other ideas into your own personal melting pot of creative thought. That's how great ideas take shape, not in some kind of vacuum. John Donne meditated that no man is an island, and ideas aren't islands either. The delicate little flowers that grow from fertile, well-tended soil and need to be carefully nurtured. Every idea has its genesis process, whether slow or fast. It rarely just appears spontaneously, fully formed out of nothing. That's more of a divine inspiration than a proper idea. So, be curious, read, discuss, investigate, research, delve into areas that interest you, and can provide more fertile ground for your thinking. Crossover from other fields is a particularly good source of thought-provoking analysis and ideas, such as applying a system or method that works in another field to your own, or using an element of a product in a completely different product to make it better. My favorite example is the invention of roll-on deodorant, which was inspired by how the tip of a ballpoint pen works, spitting out the ink. Who'd have thunk it? Always ask questions, both of others and of yourself too, especially challenging ones. Perhaps my favorite question is never being afraid to ask why or why not. Time and time again, such an elementary, almost a little naive approach serves to flush out valuable justifications or to spotlight a bad habit that may be accepted purely by convention, herd mentality, or just historical inertia. Making connections and developing them intelligently is so important in developing ideas well, which is why a lot of focused analytical or lateral thinking has come into the business world. To be fair, formal education should prepare you for doing this as well. Those often maligned arts degrees where you're meant to be making intelligent connections, a lot of observations, comparisons, etc. In your analysis that you're doing, whether it's literature or history or any other subject. But it shouldn't be limited to education or work alone. I mean, analysis and ideas should most definitely be an integral part of successful adult mind. Passion. You could say I'm passionate about passion. That's believing strongly in yourself and in what you do, whatever it is. It can be making money or helping others, both or neither, but if you're doing it, you must surely believe in it, or else why would you be doing it? Whatever you do, believe in it and be passionate about it. That's extended to the company you work for, the sector you work in, and the particular products and services that you deal with. Belief leads to motivation, which typically leads to greater success, as you influence and have a positive impact on clients and colleagues alike. The American football coach Vince Lombardi used to say that he preferred a less talented player who'd give absolutely everything he had on the field, rather than a more talented player who'd maybe imperceptibly restrain his passion and enthusiasm because he knew he was really good. And I agree, there's something more satisfying in a person maximizing their ability than coasting on talent even just a bit. Belief is in short supply and is really valuable as a result, like any commodity. It's contagious and inspiring, and in the right form, it's an essential element of leadership too. A piece of advice I heard as a boy was, if nothing else, at least be enthusiastic. Now, of course, you should strive to have something else, but the point stands that enthusiasm, even on its own, is a redeeming factor that's impressive and attractive. When attached to ability and so on, it really ratchets things up a notch. I hardly need to point out examples where lack of belief shows through very clearly. Retail assistants who don't serve clients enthusiastically compared to those luxury boutiques where they make you feel really wanted and highly valued. The difference is that the latter have really infused their staff with the belief they need to then transfer that enthusiasm to customers via their warmth, their language, their demeanor. And that's how you, the customer, end up eagerly buying a bag for £1,000. Believing in yourself, the product you're selling, your company, all that stuff, that belief is sometimes considered a gold standard, but really it should be, well, the standard for success. You might have thought that the previous quality, passion, might be at number one, but as you've seen, it's not there because my number one quality to succeed is persistence. It comes under other names too, that mean roughly the same thing, say tenacity, resilience, strength of character, determination, resolve, will. But call it what you will, no pun intended, it's the most important quality to have. Of course, it's not detached from other key qualities. For example, it can be fueled by having real passion about what you do and what you want to achieve. The more you believe in a goal or an activity, however challenging it may be at a given time, the more you'll be inclined to stick to it. It's about constantly pushing yourself to keep going, to keep improving, to overcome all those obstacles, both physical and mental. We all meet them: failure, self-doubt, fatigue, other people's interference, rejection, criticism, stress and pressure, you name it. Basketball superstar Michael Jordan once said, "If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it." And I heartily echo this sentiment from my own experience, seeing and feeling just how absolutely fundamental this quality is, both in myself and others. And that dogged, kind of determined mentality is something that really comes across in our training and coaching and mentoring at the Business Ladder, in everything we do. To quote a client, "That attitude you have, we need some of that." And she was right.